right, we are back with another episode of On the Delo. This is episode 130. Yeah, 130.
Oh, wow.
You believe that? Most people quit after like 4.
No, there's no quitters here.
No quitters here. We are not quitting. So
we will white knuckle the whole way.
I have a new friend, Stephanie, who I'm excited to meet in person again for the second time.
Right.
And I guess my team or me or somebody, we just kind of stalked you on Instagram. We said, you know what, she's pretty interesting. Let's get her in
Just
and
a
have
couple times.
conversation. Just a few times. And she reluctantly said yes, and she's here today. So
no,
welcome.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So you brought your son.
I did. It's summer vacation, and I think it's real important for him to see it behind the scenes, like what really goes down.
I love it. I love it. What does he have any? I know he's going into 8th grade.
He is.
So, like, any inklings of what he wants to do for a living?
Oh, he's very clear. He wants to be a professional soccer player. He wants to be signed before he finishes high school because he does not want to go to college. So that guy right there is very clear.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, who's your soccer idol?
Messi or Mbappe.
Okay. So some pretty big names there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just got back last week for trying out for the regional junior Olympics. So because I know I'm his mother,
Wow.
so I'm a little biased. However, verified, he's good.
That's your right.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great. Congratulations, my dude. That's awesome. Very respectful, very nice kid, all that. That's awesome. And we were talking about kids before we went live here, and you've got some older children as well, right?
I do. My oldest is about to turn 30.
30.
Yeah.
So that makes you
His mom.
42. That would be a little weird, but hey. So, I mean, what's it like to have a 30-year-old?
This whole journey of life is really surreal.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter, who's 24, asked me the other day, "Hey, Mom, what does it feel like to have a bunch of humans running around in the world?" And it stopped me in my tracks. She sent me that text, and I was like, let me sit for a second, because how does it feel? It's interesting. Really interesting. Grown children are a different kind of joy.
So tell me about what you hear and what they tell you about their struggles they're having now, say, emotionally, financially, in that context compared to like how you and I grew up, because I'm sure we're within the same age.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like for them at this age?
I would say, so personally, I think I was coming from really trying to survive.
Yeah.
Where fortunately my children don't have that. It's more of, and I have to check myself a little bit, because sometimes it's like, wait a second, that's the problem,
Yeah.
And again, I have to reel it back. And fortunately too, I've done tons of personal development. So I think I come from a different perspective than my mother and father did. Because if I was coming from survival, imagine where they were coming from.
Mm-hmm. You had a big family?
No, not really. My mom and dad, and then there was, for a Latino family, there was a total of 4 of us, which isn't considered large. I would say that's about average.
About average, yeah. Okay. And growing up, you said it was just a little bit of a struggle?
And a struggle that I was unaware of.
Yeah.
I think when you're in it, you don't know until you get out of it, and you're like, whoa. I grew up in Maryville, and this was in the 90s when there was tons of gang riots and all the things at that time were happening in our neighborhoods. However, this was my day-to-day, so I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for it, because I'll tell you right now, you could put me anywhere and I can figure it out.
You're like, bring it.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting, because even with my children, like, although they are resilient and they're intelligent and they're loving, there's still just something there that there's not the street smarts. There's just, it's really interesting in this generation.
It is. It really is. And I don't want to be that mom and say, well, then, when I was your age, I don't want to be that mom. However, that happens in my head, and I just got to keep it to myself.
Well, and if you tell them you walk to school in 10 feet of snow, they know that you're full of crap.
You grew up in Arizona, Ma.
She went to Maryville.
Right.
Oh, that's funny. So you graduated from ASU?
I did.
Yes.
I did.
Congrats. So did I.
Thank you.
What year did you graduate?
I was 94.
Okay. I was 96.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on.
I
All right.
know.
Hook 'em devils or whatever.
I don't want to do the wrong fingers.
So I don't know if you've experienced this, and I'm by no way being disrespectful to ASU, but I get money is money, and college institutions are money-making institutions.
For sure, it's a business.
Right, it's a business. So I get a call the other day, and they're like, "Hey, are you coming to the luncheon that you got an award for?" And I'm like, "An award for what?" Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it was like ASU's like top 100 entrepreneurs that graduated from ASU of the year sort of thing, and I was just like, no, I'm not, because I knew nothing about it. And it's like you start seeing this stuff, and I'm humbled and grateful that my name's even in a conversation. But at the end of the day, I just feel like a lot of the times, like with a lot of these things, it's about making revenue.
For sure.
Do you want to donate back to the school? You know, and that's cool if you do, and that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I just think college is completely turned into something different nowadays.
You know, and I'm a former educator. I also think that you can learn in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So I always tell my children that you don't have to go to college. You have to do something, you know, go backpack the world, go have some life experiences. And if you don't have a path for some life experiences, I think school is a great one, because they'll throw a bunch of hoops to jump through and navigate. So if you need someone to throw some hoops and you need to like build up that tenacity, sure, school's one way, but there's also lots of other ways. You know, and considering what was your degree in?
BS.
Right. Anything you're doing right now? No. Right.
Well, I mean, BS is bullshit, right? I mean, marketing, right?
Right. So you needed to jump through some hoops to
Right.
kind of get to the next step. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Is that hard for you to say, or as far as like, you know, coming from an institution and an educational background to be able to say that to your kids?
well,
Or
that's
is it-
my truth.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not necessarily
love
hard for
that.
me to
Yeah.
say. However, I'm sure people poke holes at me saying that, like, hey, Stephanie, former educator, you went to ASU, you know, education. However, I don't think that 1 + 1 always equals 2.
You're living your life and you're letting them kind of make the decisions on theirs.
And just, hey, you know, you guys, I'm here as a guide if you want to lean into it.
Yeah.
I won't force any of it on you. And they, you know, they kind of do what they do.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That's refreshing to hear, actually. Tell me about how you found the entrepreneurial spirit. When did it first, you know, kick you?
Well, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years, so I think I've done a lot of reflection, and my answer would have been different 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and today it's different.
Yeah.
I really think that entrepreneurial essence that I have is something that has been ingrained in me as a woman, an independent mother, you know, that survival where you had to figure something out. If you don't have that survival instinct as an entrepreneur, it's going to be very difficult.
Right.
It's going to be very, very difficult because the path is not paved. So I think this is something that started with me very young. I just didn't know this.
I like that. Okay. And you've had, now as the coffee fair trade, has that been your one entrepreneurial journey? I know you have other things like coaching and stuff like that, but did that kind of start everything
That's where it
for you?
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely started there and blossomed.
Yeah. So what was it like? Like, can you remember? Did you journal? Do you have like an idea of like what that first day was like, opening your doors and kind of going, okay, this is cool, this is exciting? Then I'm sure you just had like your trials and tribulations of business, and especially with all the development of downtown and how there was probably not much down there when you first opened, or maybe there was
No, there was nothing at all.
There was nothing at all.
Nothing
yeah,
at all.
you were there, right?
Yeah, it was me and
Nowhere to park, like none of that stuff. And
lots of
Roosevelt-
abandoned buildings and
So how was the first?
Well, I think my come from, again, was a little bit different. This wasn't like, oh, I just want to be this businesswoman. I want to open up a coffee shop. That wasn't it. I mean, I didn't even know coffee grew from a plant. Like, I just thought it was this thing that just tastes delicious.
Magically
and
happened.
put some sugar in there and it's great. So, you know, I had traveled to Costa Rica, and this is where, full circle, I just realized, okay, coffee is coming from the earth. We're watching people, you know, create and just all of it. And then they hand over this cup of coffee, and it was this whole thing, like, what in the world is this? I had no idea. And I then learned that it's the second highest traded commodity next to oil, extremely exploitative to our people and the planet. So there was just this gut punch, like, wow, I am contributing to all this negativity and not even knowing.
Wow.
So then there was like, okay, what are you going to do about it? So my whole thing is I had to do something. So it's that burning feeling of needing to do something. So it wasn't this, oh, let's open the doors and how great is this? It's like, okay, we got to get this off the ground and really open up people's eyes, like conscientious consumerism. And that sounds so heavy when we're talking about coffee. However, it's so easy to create change. You know, whereas a lot of people will be like, change is hard and it takes time. I disagree.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that from the very beginning you had that attitude, and you've held that attitude ever since? For it's been open, what, 17 years now?
17, yeah. I think it's gotten worse. My attitude is like, I have to now.
You have to, yeah.
Who can I call? Because
Yeah.
now I have an array of experience in different things, and now I have colleagues and mentors and friends that I can lean on, whereas then I didn't.
Right.
So if anything, that need to create change, that fire has just expanded.
Interesting. Do you feel that? Well, let me ask it this way. When you look at where you get the coffee, where you get the cups, where you get, it sounds like you analyze every sort of aspect
Everything.
of the business and where it comes from, and there's some sort of conscious effort to make it the most earthly, spiritual, amazing experience for somebody, but also good to
100%.
the environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And delicious.
And delicious.
Like, it just can't be in a cane sugar straw and a compostable cup. It needs to be a delicious cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're still experiencing. So it's great that we could toss it all in a compostable bin, divert 500 pounds every week. But what did it taste like?
Yeah, and what was the experience?
Right.
Oh my God, Stephanie, I'm telling you, like, it's funny because I didn't realize who I had booked until I started doing a little bit of background on you.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you have a distinct personality and let's just say an aura that when I was at your place, and I had been there multiple times, and one time I went there with Kimber, who we had talked about earlier, but I went there by myself just because I was getting some work done before I had to go to another meeting. And I just remember being there, and we're talking probably pre-COVID, so maybe even 7 years ago. And I just distinctly remember you as I'm doing my research going, oh, wait a minute, that was the lady that just had that fun energy and gave me this. It was like handing somebody like a cup of love, It was really cool.
And that's exactly what it is. A lot of times people come and they're like, there's just something about your shop. And I used to shy away and almost be too humble about it.
Yeah.
There's something about it. There's something about it. And now I know what it is. It's love. 100% love. I truly believe in what I'm doing. So it feels so good. So I can look at you in your eye, hand you this cup of coffee that you might have just spent $8 on.
Yeah.
And I know from the deepest part of myself that it is delicious, and all things that I knew at the time can be done to create the most conscientious experience that I could hand over to you at that time.
That's really cool.
That's why my coffee tastes so good.
Do you go back over to where you get the beans and all that stuff?
So I would say about 70% of our coffee beans are direct trade from Nayarit, Mexico, and I know the family.
Okay.
The sons are the ones that I deal with directly.
Yeah.
However, where it's at, I've attempted it twice, but where it's at in Nayarit, there's some political stuff there, and so I am unable to get there.
Probably not worth it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll take the pictures. I'm good.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, you're good at that. And you've been in that same location?
I have. So I've had 2 locations since.
That's what I thought. Okay.
However, that location that you were at is the original. That's the one that's been there for 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And second location, where was that?
It was at Civic Space Park.
Got it.
Yeah, so we were there for about 8 years. It was the first, it was like the first green park, and the city had asked us to come over there. So we did it for about 8 years. It was a little before its time.
Yeah.
However, it'd be really hot now. It's basement, super cool.
All that, yeah, that would be awesome. Do you have any ambitions or things that you want to expand or do things differently, or are you just kind of at the point where you're content?
I mean, I'm definitely content. However, I'm open. I'm not willing to push and make things happen anymore. I know that if it's something I'm supposed to do, it's going to come and it'll just kind of unfold itself for me. So I'm open to it all.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near done, that's for sure.
You listen to the universe.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you do some coaching and consulting and all that.
Yes.
So how did all that start, and what does that look like to you?
So really, I guess the formal part started when ASU reached out to me, and they've got a food entrepreneur program, and they had asked if I would be willing to teach and coach. And again, I think I'm just a teacher at heart, so it comes very easy to me, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's where it started. And then I started a nonprofit, and then I do tons of mentoring and teaching and coaching there.
Okay. And that's just got to give you a ton of joy, right?
Oh, everything I do.
Yeah.
Everything I do.
Why do it?
Right. Everything I do, I for the most part, I really enjoy.
I love that as well. Are you sweating your ass off? Because I think I am. So I'm going to call the front desk while we're on
I feel
here.
okay, but go ahead.
No, I'm just doing watch this. So I've never done this before on a podcast, but we're going to do it right now. Oh, you got it? Will you just tell Lisa to turn the air down a little bit? Thank you. Of course, I'm the idiot wearing long sleeves in the summer, right?
I think it's 115 outside today.
I love hoodies in the summer, though. And my wife, she jokes with me. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't want to ruin my tan.
It's like the teenage kids that you see out there with the hoodies, the full-on hoodie over their head and the beanie, and I'm thinking like, I know you're hot, dude.
I know you're hot. All right, not a trick question, but I did read this in some of the stuff that you had put out there. Can you give me your definition of the foundation of love?
Oh, man.
I know.
I would just say, and again, my definition is going to change every time. I just think when you come from that deeper inner space, tap into that and whatever that is.
Okay.
I think love is from within.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is like when we talk about stuff and people ask me questions like that, I believe you're in the same sense where you can literally just kind of take a moment, close your eyes, and it just downloads because it comes from a space of, like just purity in that essence.
And how magical is that we can stop? I mean, literally, we could stop right now, all of us in this room right now,
Right.
and just be like, and connect to that love.
Like, okay. Exactly. All right, so 3 kids. Now, are the 2 of the children, the older children, are they out on their own?
So my oldest son is a teacher. He's on his own.
Okay.
My daughter wrapped up her master's degree and just got engaged.
Wow.
So she's slowly on her way. However, in my house, there's no encouragement for the kids to leave.
Yeah.
It's, stay as long as you want and come back if you want.
Got it. All right. And so as an entrepreneur and somebody that is being a mom and running a business and all that, I give the audience kind of a perspective of what your daily habits look like, what your non-negotiables are, what are the things that you like to do.
So it's always, I always start and finish in a very intentional way.
Okay.
Because everything in between, you can't control.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how do I set myself up and how do I wrap it with a bow? Even though if it was a bag of garbage,
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it in a bow. So my mornings start really intentional. I meditate in the morning before I even get out of bed.
I love it.
Yeah. My first 2 steps on the floor when my feet meet the ground are thank you. I then go outside and I ground. Or earth. People call it lots of different things.
Yeah.
And if the kids are up, they're out there with me. And he's over there
Shaking his
laughing
head,
because he's like, man, we got to do this. So we'll go and we'll earth.
Yep.
And then something physical. So this morning it was yoga and abs, and I got on the Peloton for a little bit.
Cool.
And afterwards, it's lemon water that is room temperature, 20 ounces of celery juice. This is all.
Oh, this is great. Keep going. I mean, you were so intentional.
Oh, 100%. Then it's a tablespoon of sauerkraut for the gut. And then it's 2 tablespoons of sea moss. Yeah. And then we do our protein shakes.
Wow.
So that's my morning.
And
Non-negotiable. Even when I travel.
can I fact check this? Is what's going on? Are you having sauerkraut in the morning too?
He draws the line at sauerkraut,
Yeah.
but he does the sea moss.
He does the
Yeah,
sea
he does
moss.
the sea moss. He does the celery juice.
Where do you
even
get sea moss at? Just
a local, of course. So I'm very much so in creating the ecosystem and supporting each other. So it's
Yeah.
a local Latino-owned business.
Okay.
And delicious, absolutely delicious. I get the pineapple one, but they've got like 5 different flavors, and I legit buy 5 to 10 at a time. I keep them in the freezer because you can't have the excuse of running out.
Yeah.
You have to have it on hand.
okay. That's wow. Are you Latino?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Italian. Whoa. All right. So that's your morning, and then do you rush to work? Do you? No?
The attempt is not to rush. Even when the alarm
Good.
goes off, I
Yeah.
try to sit there. I want to attempt to remember dreams or any like night messaging that I had. Like the attempt is not to rush. And in all honesty, he still has to make it to school, and I've got meetings, and so I attempt to set myself up for the day. Although there will be an occasional rush if need be. Even right now we were walking, and he's like, "Mom, you have 5 minutes before we have to go there. You don't have time for the bathroom."
You could've gone to the
So,
bathroom.
I did. I was like, "We have plenty of time."
That's awesome. Well, you're teaching them right in that sense for sure. Because time is our biggest commodity. I mean, at the end of the day, or time is our biggest asset.
But time was also humanly created.
That is
so
true.
I always tell myself, I have enough.
Yeah, no, that is true as well. It's funny because the argument for time is one of these things where I think we get so, I know the human psyche has gotten so busy doing things that they don't even realize that, time is even a part of their life.
Right.
They're just doing stuff.
Right. And sometimes I'll even remind myself, Stephanie, you're a human being, not a human doing.
Right.
How are you being?
No, exactly. What's your longest tenure as far as your employee at your?
Yesenia has been with me 12 years.
Okay. Very cool. And in hospitality, folks, that is a long time. It's a lifetime.
Literally. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for her. She has seen so much and helped with so much.
And that's got to help you because you don't necessarily have to be there all the time.
Right. She's there today, so I'm here.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you feel that having somebody like that and creating the culture that you create just creates, just helps with the environment as a whole and making it enjoyable and you wanting to be there?
Well, I mean, think about it. When you went to the cafe, you said yourself that you had a great experience, and you used the word love far before I did.
Yeah.
And it's because of the team. Yes, it's great as a leader. You can start it. However, they're the ones behind the counter. They're the ones every single day. So I'm so grateful for my team because they are continuously, for decades now, creating that experience over and over and over.
For sure, for sure. Has you continued to, well, I would assume you must have 10-year leases there? Is that?
Yeah, there's 10. Yes.
And they must love having you over there.
It's switched over our ownership a couple of different
Has it?
times, and I'm
Okay.
grateful that I have created a good enough reputation where they're not like,
Yeah, and you
"Hey."
pay your rent.
I do.
Yeah.
I do, I promise.
What's your biggest business struggle, if you have any?
Myself.
Okay.
If you think about it, we are our biggest problems.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a reminder of the problems within.
Okay, I like that. Cut that one out. That's good. We'll do a snippet on that. That's brilliant. Yeah.
It just fell out of my mouth.
It's well. See, you're downloading. I told you that was going to happen. Has anything or everything changed in the way that you do business today, as opposed to how you did it, 17 years ago?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything has changed. And I did not know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to be when I was doing it. And I think I'm a little bit more clear now.
Yeah.
However, I'm not going to say I figured it out because now everything is so different.
Right.
So you just have to continue to grow and change and flow. We just got to flow like water.
Yeah, and it's funny because as all businesses go through transitions and new people come into our lives, new clients, new customers, new technologies, there's just so much to learn every single day, and I think that's what makes it exciting.
Yes, if you're not good with change, you do not want to be in F&B.
Right.
Like food and beverage is not your place because every day, it's literally like you're putting on a huge dinner party every single day.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I didn't tell you this before we hit record, but I've owned 13 restaurants,
Oh, so
I
you
understand
get
your
it.
pain. And the Pita Jungle downtown was mine.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the one on Roosevelt. We sold it back to corporate. I had that for 10 years.
Oh, wow. I love the pasta salad.
Yeah, no, they do a great job.
Yeah.
They're great folks, and I think they have 18 locations now. And
Lots of expansion.
yeah. So there were 3 in California, and I had opened one of those up in San Diego, and all 3 in California, sadly, are now closed.
Oh,
It didn't translate, the way that I thought it would out there.
It's funny because you'll go to certain states and cities and you'll see things that are thriving. 7-Eleven. You go somewhere
Yeah.
else, 7-Elevens are great. You come here and it's not so great.
Yeah, convenience stores are funny. Have you heard of Air Guitar?
No.
Okay, so Air Guitar is out in Gilbert, right? And we're working on the insurance for it right now. And my coworker Dave, who's been with me 25 years, he went out there with me, and he's like, "Well, we got to go. I'm going to go check out this convenience store." And we get there, and it's like a convenience store on steroids. Okay, it's a brand new, big block, beautiful building. You walk in, there's a pizza bar, there's a sushi bar, there's all this unique, really cool
Wow.
food, coffee bar. I mean, it's
Okay.
great. And so Craig DeMarco, who Postino's, he opened that. And did it out there in Gilbert. It's absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And it's so cool to watch things like what 7-Eleven prompted that. But when you look at 7-Elevens and Circle K's, and I have a place up in Shiloh, and we go to this place, Maverick. I always go to try to go to the cleanest / cheapest gas stations, right?
Best bathrooms.
Right, best bathrooms. Yeah, and it's fun to watch older concepts get reinvented, but also hold a little bit of the oldness within them.
Right.
Or the uniqueness.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I hear, so my nonprofit works with the business owners, Latina business owners.
Tell me about that. What's the name of it?
Yeah, Empowering Latina Leaders in Arizona.
And how did you start that?
So the backstory is the mayor at the time had asked me to come in and speak on the gender pay gap and represent Latinas. And I had no idea that even existed anymore in 2016. I was like, wait, what? Women are getting paid less than men just because they have vaginas? Like, wait a second.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Not at all.
That's real?
So doing all the research, I learned that Latinas are the lowest paid people on the planet. And again, me learning something, I have to do something.
Yeah.
Because I can't just say, oh, I know this and do nothing. And also, I'm going to pass this on to my daughter for her to figure out. So what I did, I don't know if you've been to First Fridays, but it's this huge outdoor festival, we can call it. It's out of control.
It's awesome.
Yes, love it. So what I decided to do was on Latina Equal Pay Day, bring out Latina businesses to pop up in front of Fair Trade Cafe. Again, 2016, far before pop-ups were happening. And everyone, we had media out, didn't even invite them. It wasn't something that I didn't send pressers for. It was just something we were doing.
Yeah.
And the community just, within 20 minutes, Stephanie, when's the next one? And I was like, I didn't know we were doing this. And again, we call it now the Mujeres Mercado. It's the largest outdoor Latina market. So I needed an umbrella to put it in.
Yeah.
And I thought a nonprofit would be the best way to do this. So really, if you kind of look at everything, it looks like it was a strategic plan. However, it's allowing things to fall into place.
Yeah.
So even the program of my nonprofit came before my nonprofit. So Mujeres Mercado is what started ELLA, the nonprofit.
Okay.
We now have 3 programs. The Amor Collective I just opened last August, so we're about to celebrate a year. It's the only retail incubator space for Latina entrepreneurs. So we've got 35 businesses right now in a mainstream retail market. And the idea behind that was bridging that gap. How do you go from pop-up to storefront without $500,000?
Right.
And this is how we do it. So
That's
it's
cool.
an incredible space.
That is really cool. And when is the market?
So, it's summer right now, so we're doing no markets. What
Yeah.
we've done initially when, again, pop-ups weren't a thing.
Yeah.
So we were creating the markets, and we would program out different parts of Phoenix. We were on rooftops. We did all kinds of cool stuff. However, now what we're doing is we're collaborating with the city for like Grito. So we have them all over with different cities now. We were in Goodyear just last month. So
Okay.
we're just kind of all over. Just follow us
Yeah.
and
Make sure you send me a link on that, and I'll promote it on this show.
Okay.
I love that, and I think what I want to say now, in the context of how important it is for people to understand and realize that there's more to life than just what's in your box. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and I get it. Like, I know when you say Latino, there is a group of individuals or people, based on, the vowel of their last name and the color of their skin
Right.
and the inequality. Totally get it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that there's such a beautiful culture and such an amazing, let's just say, context of things for other people that they could learn, that instead of this separation, there could be just this,
huge unity.
yeah, this
Absolutely.
huge unity. Because it's like Latino is not like tacos, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, fine, there's tacos. But it's like all the other things that go along with it that people don't even realize and
Right.
might just fall in love with.
I feel like it's almost like if we take it outside of ethnicity or gender
Yeah.
and we look at Roosevelt Row, it's the nation's most best walkable block, and it's got.
Right.
Why do so many people come to Roosevelt Row? And it's because you've got you can feel the heartbeat of the diversity.
Yes.
There's so much diversity in downtown in those blocks that it draws people. So I feel like we have this innate call to be around difference.
100%.
We want to experience. No one wants to eat spaghetti every night. No one wants to go to the same place every single day to watch a concert. Like we want that. So to me, it's like the more we come together and integrate our cultures and learn more about each other's cultures, how fun is this? Why do we travel? To go have a different experience.
That's exactly it. And see, I don't travel because I hate traveling, so I'd rather just travel here and
Just
hang
bring me a
out-
festival, please.
And hang out with all my different people. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And I'm on Duolingo, and I'm learning Spanish, and I
Good
love
for
it.
you.
Dude, Duolingo's cool. And also, I'm learning Chinese as well.
Oh, wow.
And this is, it is what it is, okay? so we go to the massage place at the in Scottsdale Fashion Square. You know, the guys that just like get on you, and it's so amazing. Like having a dude like that rub me is the best.
He loves this.
Okay, so I love it. I mean, because I work out a lot, right? You know, and it's just nice. It's kind of like a date thing that my wife and I do. So I'm leaving there one day, and I go to the head guy who speaks, you know, good English, and I'm like, what nationality? And he's like, Mandarin. I was like, okay, cool. So I go back and I'm Duolingo, and I'm starting to learn, like, you know, Mandarin. And my wife hears me in the other room. I'm like, ni hao. And she's like, what is that?
happening?
And I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to say next time we go get our massages. It's hello. And then I'm like, shishi. And that's thank you, right? And so, I laugh, right? And so now I go in there and I'm like, ni hao, and he's like, oh, you good Mandarin? You know, I'm not trying to be a racist asshole here. I'm just saying, like,
no, but
you
it's
see what I'm saying?
also like you're interested in
I'm
learning
interested
about
in learning.
someone else's culture. I don't see that it's racist or
Totally.
whatever. It's like I am really intrigued by your dialect. I want to know.
That's exactly
Yes,
it. I'm
yes.
like, and then you look at like how they write stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, you probably are definitely the smartest people on earth.
Right,
Because it's like, to draw like a tree that looks like a ficus, and that's one word, and...
It's like an artist.
It's like an artist. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I
and they've
agree.
been around way longer than us.
Yep.
Like, yeah. So anyways, that's my little story.
A squirrel.
All right, what are your three just your three daily habits or things that, minus your morning routine, you already told us, but like what are things that you have almost like you have to do it?
Spring water.
Okay.
Cold brew.
Cold brew.
You're laughing at my bottle. I literally carry this everywhere I go.
That's great.
Yeah, cold brew and great music.
Okay, tell me your favorite time of music or artist.
It depends. So there's so many Stephanies. There are so many of me, and call me crazy, call me what you want. But if we're honest with ourselves, we know there's different versions of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So right now, I'm in this space of growth. And Nicki Minaj has me.
Good for you.
Yeah,
You got your nails too.
it's right now all the female rappers that are so emboldened and really just are in their power,
Right.
and don't care about the opinions of others. Right now, I really relate to that.
Yeah.
Because in order to grow and to build, taking the opinions of other people probably is not the best thing.
Look, I'll ask you this. I know my answer to it.
Mm-hmm.
Can women be both empowered and empathetic and caring?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
You know, I'll share with you because I know that I have a strong personality, so I swing to the masculine a lot.
Yeah.
However, before I come home, I sit in my garage, and sometimes I'll literally pretend to take off hats. Like, okay, Stephanie, that boss hat is off, that this hat is off, this hat, because in order to come in and be nurturing and empathetic and mothering,
Right.
like, okay, let me be aware right now. This is the hat I'm going to put on right now. I mean, sometimes it's on top of some others, but I attempt to,
beautiful.
like,
Yeah.
to know, okay, this is who I want to be right now. This is the Stephanie I'm calling.
I love that. And I think that's a good lesson for everybody. In one of those contexts where I should actually make a short about this, like anybody that's coming home to somebody or an animal or anything like that, take the time to just sit in your driveway, whether it's 30 seconds or a minute, get rid of everything that you have on you and just go in fresh.
Right, because they want that you. They just want that raw you.
Yeah, they don't care if you got 3 piss-ass customers that didn't like their, coffee.
The Yelp review that you read at the red light that you knew you shouldn't have looked at. Yeah.
I like how you said red light to the insurance agent. That's hilarious. Oh, God. All right, I got some rapid-fire questions. You ready?
Those always freak me out the most.
You're going to be all right.
Now I'm sweating. Okay.
Okay, time to sweat a little more. No. Cream and sugar or black?
Soy milk and agave.
Okay. I'll have to try this.
He's laughing. So I'm vegan, so.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I got vegan protein. I'll have you try it. It's really good. Okay. Elton John or Bruce Springsteen?
Elton John.
Okay. The beach or the forest?
Oh, the beach.
Beach bunny, huh? Mm-hmm. I love it. Do you guys go to California or?
So my little one travels a lot. So right now vacations really are tied to soccer tournaments. So we will be in San Diego next week.
San Diego. Very cool. I'm so proud of him. I don't even know you, and I'm
I
proud
know.
of you. It's
Thank
so
you for
cool.
that.
It's
Thank
really
you.
cool. Yeah, he's a good kid. Read or write?
Read.
Okay. Any good book recommendations for everybody?
So many.
Just give me one. Dr. Seuss?
It stops with us. That was the last one that I read. They're actually making a movie about it. So what I attempt to do is I attempt to do something that is fictional and then non-fictional.
Okay. Yeah,
So that I can
same
like
here.
take it in and then just like be entertained.
Yeah.
So such a good book.
Awesome. All right, I'll have to check that out. Pizza or pastries?
Pizza.
Really? All right. Any sort of crust that you like?
Oh yeah, cauliflower, please. Cauliflower crust, extra sauce.
He ain't eating that. No.
Well, he just went gluten free.
Did he really? Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
That's very important. Especially you're going to be a pro athlete. You got to keep all that stuff in check, dude. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay. UFOs or Bigfoot?
UFOs.
Oh, where's my UFO thing? Netflix or the news?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the 80s or the 90s?
90s. Oh, Tupac, Biggie, like
Yeah.
NWA. You have to remember, I grew up like, I grew up in the hood. So
That's great. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, where can everybody find you? We'll put it in our notes and social media. What do you want them else to know about you? It's been awesome.
So, of course, Fair Trade Cafe,
Yep.
Stephanie _ at FTC, the nonprofit AYA at azaya.org. I'll send you all the handles so you can have them all. But I mean,
Well, you know
Mujeres-
what's great is AI reads this whole podcast.
Oh,
and
perfect.
just blurts it all out on the YouTube, and you'll
Okay.
you'll probably get like 3,000 to 5,000 views on this on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
It'd be
you.
cool. But yeah, no. So okay, so those are the
There's also Amor Collective AZ.
okay.
AZ Mujeres Mercado and Amor Amigas.
Will you say that again?
Which one?
The sexy one. What is it?
AZ Mujeres Mercado.
Oh my God! What a beautiful
Beautiful language, right?
Right. So when I go on Duolingo, I'm like, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llama? Right. I sound like an old white guy.
You're good. You're good.
Anyways, I'm trying, folks. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming down here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This has been fun.
It was so much fun, and thank you for welcoming my son.
Of course. I will follow the journey through social media of him kicking balls and getting his professional ranking. I have a friend, quick story actually. I have a friend who built this office. So I've been here 14 years now. I own the office condo, the inside. And we bought it back in, I think, 2008, right when the economy just went, right? Paid the bank, I'm good. We're still here.
Well, you bought it before or after?
We bought it like right before it crashed, like the month before it crashed.
man.
Yeah. I wish I was making it up. So the person that built the office condo, Miram Construction, they put their office next door. We were friends, and he built his out as well. So Francis Miram, his brother is Jason Miram, who played, I want to say for Atlanta. I don't know what their professional team is or whatever. Played for a couple like professional teams.
Oh, wow.
But I remember walking over there and seeing this kid who was a soccer player, but not yet pro, and he became like a really big pro soccer star. And he was in there doing like, drafting and construction stuff just to kind of kill time. But
Yeah.
he would go and do soccer
I
practice
love
after that and
that.
became a pro. So
I love
it was
that.
pretty cool. Yeah, you'll have to Google his name. It's MERA Miram M. But yeah. So
Okay,
anyways.
well, we'll look on the way at a red light, of course.
Check it out at a red light. So awesome. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Please 5-star and please subscribe. Absolutely love having guests on. You've been my first guest in actually a few weeks because Diddy was in Africa, and I did some solo podcasts. But I love having guests. I love having good energy. So thank you for this.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I hope you all enjoy. And peace out.